Hey guys, some stupid sketch show guy here with another video, which is sort of a news video, but also sort of not. This is basically me trying to compensate for the fact that I didn't do my CollectA Reveal series that I usually do around this time, simply because college is tough. So instead, I'm just going to do a ranking video of the 7 figures that CollectA did reveal, because they just revealed their final 3. So, without further ado, let's go from worst to first. Starting off in unlucky number 7 is their Diprotodon. Now, for one thing, I do like that this species finally got a figure representation of it, because I've enjoyed Diprotodon since my introduction to it in Monsters Resurrected, where it basically just got eaten by a giant Komodo dragon. It's not a bad figure, it's just a very forgettable one. And it mainly has to do with the paint job. The sculpt is decent, and I do like the little details like the torn ear, but this paint scheme of brown with some stripes on the rear end, I think was done way better with their Nanuqsaurus. Now, Nanuqsaurus is definitely a very different animal from Diprotodon, but the color scheme on Nanuqsaurus was a bit better executed than, say, this Diprotodon one. So, in short, I think that this figure is just really mediocre, and it really does come down to a color scheme that, while not bad, it's not good either. Number 6, Dreadnoughtus. Now, this is a slight surprise to some people. I just think that the other figures are better. I actually don't have any problems with this Dreadnoughtus specifically, and just like with Diprotodon, I'm really glad that a high-quality figure of this species has finally been made, because I think Dreadnoughtus is a surprisingly popular dinosaur with not a lot of figure representation, so this is nice and refreshing. I do like the sculpt of it, and the paint scheme, while I've seen it done plenty of times before with CollectA, is just alright, but I definitely do, just like with the Diprotodon, prefer other figures from similar groups, especially in sauropods. I think the last couple of sauropod figures done by CollectA were just better overall. It's not a bad figure, it's just, again, outcompeted. Number 5, Nanuqsaurus. Now that we're moving away from the figures that are just done better, this figure is actually kind of flawed. Now, I'll start off with the things I like. I really like the color scheme. That's what gives this figure such a major boost. I love the white face, and the orange plumage is a very nice touch, although I am not a fan of the white surrounding the orange feathering, and especially around the limbs, like the scaly legs and the fingers. I think it actually just makes the figure look damaged, like the paint was scraped off of it, rather than it being a nice added detail. And the face area does look kind of weird. Now, from some angles, it looks better, but for some reason, the photos did not do this figure justice and make the face sculpt look incomplete. Like, it's still malleable clay rather than a hardened finished product, which is definitely what is the, how do I say this, the big divider with this figure is the facial area. It just looks off. And I can see why, and it does hold this figure back, but I really do like the color schemes. I think a lot of CollectA's color schemes this year are kind of lukewarm, so the fact that this figure is a bit more extravagant really helps out. Number 4, Diarc. Now, upscale pterosaurs have never been my favorite type of CollectA figure, but just like the Nanuqsaurus, this figure is able to hold the advantage over its 6 contemporaries with its color scheme, as it is definitely the best color scheme in terms of concept. I've always loved black and white, and my favorite part of the color is definitely the yellow fro of hair and the blue-tipped tail. Those are just spectacular, and I really like the white spots on the tail as well, but I do not like the white spots on the back. I think those are way sloppier, and I love the gradient spots on the tail, and I wish they kept that for the bulk of the body. In general, I think that parts of this figure are painted very well, but other parts just look more 2D. I'm not really sure how to explain it. I really love the orange hands and the wings. Those are very well done. The black feathers are nice, but the white spots not so much. And the black lines on the beak area just feel a little bit flat, and same goes for the teeth. It's just kind of a bit of a mess in terms of quality of paint. Some parts are the best in this entire line this year, and some parts just are not, far from it. So, bit of a mixed bag. Number 3, Velociraptor. Choosing between number 3 and number 2 was pretty tough. It was basically a matter of inches. But Velociraptor just falls back to bronze medal. Now, it does have a few nitpicks, similar to the Nanuqsaurus. The white on it, while it does work better in this case than the Nanuqsaurus as a detail, can look a little off in some places, especially the calf right there. I think that looked a bit off, but besides that, the figure actually looks really nice. The brown color scheme doesn't look overly monotone. It looks good. It looks very lifelike, and I can appreciate that. And it also has enough other colors to work too, such as the white throat or the black upper tail feathers. Also, the tail feathers are just nice in general. Yeah, the tail's a bit long, but it's very nice, and I just love the overall wing membrane and the pose that this figure has. It's very enthusiastic, and I just love the look of it. It's a very lively creature. So, me gusta. Number 2, Placerias. Ever since I've seen these guys on Walking with Dinosaurs, I've always liked them, so I'm really glad that CollectA finally did them justice and made an awesome figure here. Now, the Placerias, in comparison to their other Diprotodon figure, Vicia, is a very nice contrast. I really do like that these two figures were executed so differently, showing that these creatures, while in similar family groups, are also very different individuals. The Placerias specifically, I got to give praise for doing a brown-colored figure correctly, and with a lot of vigor, with, in comparison to the Diprotodon, a way better gradient, with a dark brown on the top, and some nice red mixed in there too, which gives it just enough life to really make it all come together. My favorite detail is definitely, besides the red around the face and the shoulders, the tusks. The tusks are so well detailed, and considering that they are the, well, signature thing of Placerias and the Diprotodon family, it's really nice to see them done with such meticulous detail. Chef's kiss. And last but not least, we have the last prehistoric creature standing. Number 1, Polecanthus. It's a Walking with Dinosaurs exacta, as Polecanthus takes the top spot. Now, in comparison to the Placerias, this figure definitely looks a bit more like the Walking with Dinosaurs counterparts, while the Placerias actually looks more like the Ixigualastia from Dinosaur Revolution. I know, not the same species, but close enough. So, with the Polecanthus, it does change a few things with the appearance. It does still have the black back, which is its greatest detail. I just really love the black armor, and especially with that upper view, that's just awesome. So many nice little details there, and also the spikes. Very close second, the spikes are absolutely spectacular. You would hope that a figure based off of a dinosaur like Polecanthus would have some pretty awesome spikes, and they deliver here. Now, I'm not a super huge fan of the tan color scheme, but it's far from bad. It blends in quite nicely and makes a overall very nice looking dinosaur. It just has the best details of the 7 figures so far, and one of the better color schemes. So, by comparison, it has just enough to take the top spot here. And with that, that's my ranking of the 7 CollectA figures that were released this year. I'll be honest, this, by comparison to some of the other years CollectA has had, is far from its best. It definitely did not have any standouts. Even in this year's winner, Polecanthus, I don't think that was a clear winner at all. It was a nose bob. But there were still good figures, and I was more than happy with the species selection, although the execution could have been a bit better. So, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Comment down what other videos I should do, and I'll see you guys next time.